All right, all right, all right. The very best ZvT in the world. Some of the best ZvT in the last. Is that fair? Sorry, let me think about how I'm going to intro this game. Let's try that again. All right, all right, all right. The very best ZvT in this map here to start this series. This was honestly one of my favorite series from Dallas. I cast it live, but I absolutely want to get my hands here on this replay, look through it, break it down with a bit more of a chance to digest what went on, because this here was just such a banger. REYNOR in the top left side, looking very good recently on his career arc, training hard in Korea, trying to get as good as he could, and his opponent, Oliveira, grinding his butt off. After a disappointing few months of getting destroyed by Protoss, Oliveira went and he bought Maru some KFC, apparently. Took him out for a bit of KFC, so let me buy you some fried chicken, and can you tell me how to beat Protoss, please? Because I'm struggling against them. And Maru gave him some tips about how Oliveira was being overreactive, and he was trying to, like, be too flexible, and he just needed to really optimize his timing attacks more. Oliveira took that to heart and actually got a lot better and started crushing Protoss to get to this stage of the tournament. He looked so good doing it. And it was just funny. It was like that basic thing of like, just focus on your build. Just hit your timing and do what you do well. Stop worrying about what the Protoss is doing. And that's so funny because that's such a fundamental bit of advice that I always have to remind myself as well as my own students of. I'm like, just do your build better, then worry about what your opponent's doing. And just look at little adjustments you can make to your opponent. But first of all, optimize your build. And it's kind of funny to hear that the greatest Terran kind of told Oliveira that, and it's led to him being so good. On the other hand, Oliveira has been grinding practice games with Serral for months as his main practice partner. And he has optimized this matchup to a previously unknown level. We had interviews with Oliveira after this tournament in the Chinese scene that a few people translated. And I'm going to be sharing with you a few of the insights he had about his build orders, why they're so much better than Maru's in ZvT right now, and also just the little adjustments that he's been focusing on that have allowed him to actually regularly take maps off Serral in practice and give him really good matches, as well as to, basically, and let's be honest, the main things are Oliveira has become a god of late game and a god of 8 racks. He's very good at killing Zerg with 8 racks, and he's really good at playing late game. And there's a lot of tiny adjustments he does based on the situation. Now, so far, standard 1 Rex expand, he did send an SCV scout across because he was worried REYNOR might be doing one of his kind of early spawning pool shenanigans where he runs 6 lings in and tries to cancel your command center. Oliveira coming in. Just going to try and pick off some Zerglings, you know, force the drones off mining a little bit. Doesn't really find any value. Now, because he pulls back with some hit points alive, he's going to look for the creep tumor, but very safe creep tumor placement from REYNOR. He puts it nice and far back, has the lings in front. Oliveira is not able to get on top. Third command center goes down in the back behind this. So this is your standard 3 command center build. I notice he's rallying to his natural, and he's not rushing the second gas. He's going to land the factory immediately, start Hellion production. He will go for a quick starport, and he can, of course, build the tech lab on the barracks to swap that over. Meanwhile, the Reaper's just poking around, just seeing if there's anything hanging out, any scouting info we can get, that sort of thing. Could poke in and maybe snipe those tumors if he wants to go around, but Queen comes forward for REYNOR, and REYNOR does manage to protect that creep spread. Now, really good move for Oliveira. A lot of Zergs are trying to sneak the Overlord down the right into the back to see what's going on. But he moved his Marine over to this side, anticipated it, and that forces REYNOR's scout back. You guys are noticing this is going to be a very analytical cast. I'm not pretending I don't know what's going on, but I'm relishing the fact that I can look around the replay. So, one big thing Oliveira did in this tournament was Cloakless Banshees. I can't remember if he did it this game or not. I've been doing this myself on the ladder, and I really love it because it just saves you the extra 100 minerals and 100 gas. And notice, yes, his second gas is up now, but it's just started mining recently. So he didn't take that until about 3 minutes or later. Zergling comes in, Hellions clean it up. Cloak starts there. So the Zergling sees no cloak. So he says, okay, well, you saw no cloak, so it's probably worth going cloak this game. I like that. There's lots of these little just tiny adjustments where Oliveira is so comfortable playing all the slight variations, and depending on what the Zerg sees and how they're playing, he'll just adjust little things like that. Now, REYNOR's got a very good queen split. This is something REYNOR, of course, revolutionized, was the queens pushing creep down multiple lanes at the start of the game. Doesn't seem like it would be a big thing until you see how bad Terran were at dealing with that back in 2021 when he first did it, right? How there was regular games where at the 8-minute mark, he had creep in Maru's third base. Maru, the best Terran at the time, just could not keep up with it. No one could. But these days, the Terrans are very good at just poking around and making sure the creep tumors aren't too aggressive. Keeping the Zerg on the back foot at least a little bit. Overlord's going to come in for a sacrifice now. I think Reynor's just trying to get some info. He already saw the third command center with the Zergling running up the ramp. He's pushing those creep tumors back. Overlord does go down. Baneliness comes in. Armory! Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're doing a Hellbat Banshee. What the heck is this, guys? That is a bizarre build. Early Armory. So he wants to do a Hellbat Banshee, but there's 9 queens. Reynor's played pretty safe. So Oliveira is looking for some big aggression. But I think it's going to be hard to find that, man. Second and third barracks finally going down after the Armory. That's very late, man. When you commit to 10 Hellions, 2 Cloaked Banshees, it delays your second and third barracks, your double engineering bay a long time. So Oliveira is committing pretty hard, looking for damage, hoping to catch Reynor with no Banelings. But Reynor did not go super greedy double Evo chamber. His Baneling Nest is about to finish. And seeing this many Hellions, I would not be surprised if we see a few Banelings morph. But no, he's waiting, he's being greedy. The Hellbats are going to morph. And he's just going to go for the snipe on the 4th base. Oh, this is all designed to snipe the 4th base. Oliveira's not looking for a kill move. He's just looking to kill the hatchery. And Reynor refuses to give it up stubbornly. And he doesn't get the cancel because of that. He should have canceled that. Big mistake for him. And that's only 1 Hellion. A single Hellbat goes down to the Queens. That's a very efficient trade. Banshees go around the back. Oh, man. So this is something when I think of 10 Hellbats and 2 Banshees, I think Terran's trying to kill Zerg. But Oliveira, look at this. Wait, why is this over? What? Huh? Okay, that's a mistake. He accidentally told his command center to go land in his 4th base. Third, look at this, guys. 4th command center is building before 4th and 5th barracks. This is one of those adjustments that Oliveira spoke about where he said Maru's macro play is not that good because he keeps going for 8 barracks really early. He said, dude, you should always off 3 barracks, get your 4th command center, then go for the 4th and 5th barracks. And it's way more efficient if you're planning to play late game, which is exactly what Oliveira is planning here because it's Oceanborn. Oceanborn is an amazing map for late game. If you get a planetary here, planetary over here, you can just lock down your side of the map, and it's so hard for Zerg to mine out these middle bases. Banshee's going to rotate around the sides. Notice that the 5 barracks, we've got 2 reactors there, stims done, combat shields now. 4th command center is already finished at 7 minutes. That means he started that at 5 minutes 50. Second factory goes down out front. He's building tanks behind it, so that should be a reactor tech lab on that one. Most likely, I can't quite remember how tank-focused he is. Because if he is massively tank-focused, then Broodlords may be an option if he goes double tech lab. 5th command center, or 5th hatchery down the bottom here for Reynor. Reynor's only on 73 drones. He hasn't really had a chance to be crazy greedy because that 4th base got cancelled. And I actually think he's kind of playing a little bit scared now. The fact that he's massing so much Ling Bane without fully droning his 4th, you can tell Reynor's not as comfortable in this situation after the threat of that early Hellbat attack. He's expecting a follow-up attack. And Reynor doesn't have the scouting. He doesn't know about the 4th command center that's already floating down to become a planetary. We've got drilling claws on the way, and it is a reactor on the 2nd factory. So it's going to be a mixture of Widow Mines and tanks. Perfect choice there for Oliveira. Gets the creep tumors, saves the Marines, pulls back. Reynor finally building a lot more drones. He's realizing, okay, we're playing late game, and he's going to go up to above 90 workers. Hives on the way as well. 1-1 upgrades are finishing for him at a similar time to the 1-1 that just finished for Terran. We do see +2 attack start and +2 armor. Oliveira very methodical about making sure those upgrades start. Carapace starts for Reynor, but it looks like there we go, +2 melee starting as well. Okay, so the Banshees are going around right now. So the game is on the ESL channel and the Pig channel. Are you guys serious? Right now is the ESL rerun channel actually playing this game? If it is, that is hilarious. That's actually so funny if they had me casting that on their 24/7 rerun channel right now. It's me and State casting on that channel, or just me analytically casting over here. Pick your poison, ladies and gentlemen. Marines getting picked up into the medevacs. Dude, that Zergling finally got cleaned up. Finally. Okay, 5th command center comes down. So he goes 8 barracks, then 5th command center, and he's already starting to build sensor towers. And notice Widow Mines pumping out. He added drilling claws 2-2. And look at this. He's setting up zone control. The tank, the Bio Hellbat, this is just trying to clear creep, make things awkward, but he's not looking to push too deep into the enemy territory just yet. He's just trying to set these tanks up in these nice far forward positions to just try and control the Senate, slow down the creep spread. Banshee's up here looking to deny the 5th base if possible. You can see Reynor's already like, okay, I got to start mining these middle bases, man. This is going late game. He's got a Viper building, Lurker Den, 2-2 upgrades on the way. The Banshee's denying that 5th base. Marines coming forward and Hellbats, and every time the Banelings jump on top, they just pick up. There's a tank on the low ground now as well, making this an unengageable area. Look at that pre-spread. I love the way Oliveira, he's not looking to kill Zerg, He's just looking to deny a little bit of map control so that the creep spread isn't right up in front of his face. So it's a very kind of zone control push that's just looking to control the middle of the map. Banshee's picking off Lingbane on the right side as well. Massive moves forward here for Oliveira. Second factory is done. Third factory's on the way, and he's building so many command centers now. Look at this, guys. Command centers going up everywhere. He wants those mass orbitals, still picking up those units. He's going to move tanks forward a little bit. He's actually doing this almost now like a serious push, but I think just control this area. I don't think he needs to force it further from here. He's got Hellbats and Marines guarding choke points. He's got units just denying the creep spread as best he can. 3 medevacs coming down here that can always save these units. Gets rid of all the creep on the left side. And he says, oh, there's a hatchery. Might as well try and focus that down. Hydra's coming in for REYNOR right now. He's going to go for Lurker upgrades, +3 Carapace and Adrenal Glands. But his middle bases are being denied. And this is all you want to do as Oliveira. You're not looking for the win. You're looking to make it hard for Zerg to take middle bases and dominate the map. Ooh, okay. And look at that. Yeah, he goes around, but you've got wall-offs everywhere. You've got tanks and wall-offs. Command center tries to land there. Oh, watch out, watch out. REYNOR's got a good economy. He's got to look for openings. Does actually get a decent little trade there with his Lingbane. That was actually not a bad fight for him. Units lost tab is still massively in favor of Terran, though, especially with this setup on the right side looking so good. Marines there picking off a bunch of Banelings. Wow, very well done. Widow Mines as well, potentially taking out some of these Hydras, but the tall grass does protect those Hydras. Lingbane coming in. There is Hellbat Marine, though, and I think enough Hellbat Marine Widow Mine to clean up all of these Zerglings. The tank does go down, though. REYNOR's taken okay trades, 2,500 resources behind. Nidus Worm's on the way for him as well, but Oliveira, man, he's denied the creep in the middle and the edges completely. He's got extra orbitals coming up. He's already getting up to 5 bases. He keeps denying these middle bases. Remember, the way you beat this style is you mine out these middle bases as REYNOR, but Oliveira is not giving him a chance to do that. He's on 4 orbitals right now with the 5th command center about to finish. We've got Vipers coming in on this right side. Vipers coming in. Big Lingbane attack. This is a good move for REYNOR. This is a really good move for REYNOR. Oliveira's spread a bit too thin. Big Widow Mine shots do land, but the planetary gets blown up on the right side. Well worth it for REYNOR to deny that 5th base, get 10 SCVs, clear up a bunch of tanks. That's a really good move. Now, REYNOR is down behind 3,000 resources, whereas Oliveira, 3-3 upgrades on the way. Similar timing for both sides. Cloak for the Ghosts. Ghosts being added. 2 tanks building at a time, and 2 Liberators, and 2 Widow Mines. It's a mixture of tanks, mines, bio, ghosts, lib. Very hard for Zerg to deal with. But look, there's no more support over here, so if REYNOR realizes he could spread some Lings or move some, like, Overseer Lurker, clear up these Widow Mines for free, REYNOR really needs to get his creep spreading across all lanes, though. He needs to get that map control back. Oh, Parasitic Bomb in the medevac, but beautiful spready there from Oliveira, and even the Abduct not going to be good enough to take out that drop. Burrowed Banelings are in position as well right now for REYNOR. He's going to come in again. REYNOR coming in again, knowing there's not that much mobile bio. A lot of the army is tanks and mines and libs that are spread everywhere, but they're sieged up. They can't move to respond. That being said, that fight looked pretty darn good for Ollie. He holds position. 5th base is up. And he starts erecting the planetary. Nidus Worm in the back door, though. Oliveira's going to stim some Marines, attack it with some SCVs. Remember, Nidus Worms do have 3 armor when they're morphing in. So SCVs don't do a lot of damage, but just making sure he can shut that down. Now, this is something where anyone who watched this live would know I was screeching live about this Nidus and how you need to get rid of the Overseer so that he can't keep going for Niduses. And I think this is a good move for Oliveira to put the libs on this, but I think it's so important to try and stop these Niduses, because if he gets a bunch of Lurkers in the back of your base, it just drains your APM, it drains your attention. But look, it's a distraction. The Lurkerling's actually coming in the front, but there's enough tank ghosts to defend. He has to pull back there. The Nidus Worm goes down. It looks like the libs did take care of the Overseer, but not the Changeling that it dropped. Oliveira tries to counter push the right side. The Lurkers hold the high ground, though. Oliveira has to fall back, and once again, out of position in his main base. Oliveira currently on 500 APM, 440 average against REYNOR's almost 600. Lurkers are going to get out, but only 1, and I think that's not really the best move there, because the siege tank's already on top of it. That Nidus will go down, but it does spot for another Nidus Worm. And at the same time, look at this, guys. He's cleaned up most of the Widow Mines. Oh, actually, sorry, there's still a few Widow Mines there, but he's sneaking Lings and Hydras through. Anytime the tanks are out on their own, REYNOR is clearing those up, which is massive. That's massive. But you got to realize, even though he's getting good little trades against the tanks, REYNOR is going to need to deny this tank, get rid of this sensor tower, and smash this base at some point. Because right now, most of Ollie's attention is on defending the right side. If you can get down to this bottom left, that'll be good. And Ollie does not have a planetary on the high ground yet. This, once it turns into a planetary, and there's a sensor tower in front of it, this becomes so hard as Zerg. So REYNOR's on a timer. He's got 95 workers. He has a lot of resources. But if he doesn't get some more damage soon, he's going to be in trouble. Now, the Lings do get in on top of that siege tank, and they should be able to kill it. No, not quite. The friendly fire tank not quite killing his own siege tank. +3 vehicle weapons is on the way here. I like the commitment to tanks. 11 siege tanks does make me wonder if a few Broodlords picking off these tanks and rotating around the middle to clear back Oliveira's map control could have been a very good choice in this game. New Overseer comes in the south. Overseer on the right side as well. There are going to be Overseers popping up Nidus Worms all over the map. Tank siege is up in position. Not a bad idea. Meanwhile, the bottom side, as I said, very focused on the top is Oliveira, which means the bottom side opens up. Reynor's going to dive in, clear this base out. Baneling's getting into the worker line there. The orbital goes down as well. He's got to get those Banelings on those repairing SCVs. And he does take it out. Very nice moves for Reynor. At the same time, though, Oliveira counterattacks. Oliveira counterattacks, guys. He kills the hatchery on the right side. He also moves in the north. He's going to take out 2 hatcheries. You got to be careful as Oliveira, though, because now there's a Nidus Worm in your main. Oliveira may be getting baited into playing too fast. He should slow down and lock down his side of the map. But he does take out 2 bases. 23 SCVs going down. Make it 24. The Lurker's killing so many in this main base. Oliveira's taking big damage. He does start upgrading a planetary on the front line in the middle of this. But there's Burrowed Infestors in there. The Ling's chasing things down. Reynor is all over him right now. And I think Oliveira, the chaos may be getting to him. Reynor's ability to multitask and find openings is just so big. He's got a Nidus Worm even spreading creep there. He's going to go up the guts. Great move for Reynor. These tanks don't have much support. Great instincts. He pulled all of the mobile units back. He gets rid of 3 to 4 siege tanks, gets another tank on the right side, and just pulls back. That is so efficient. He's only down 6,000 resources. That might sound like a lot, but right now, Oliveira doesn't even have he's got a 4th base mining over there, but this bottom base has been denied. Oliveira, if he loses this planetary next, that's going to open up the middle again. So I think as Reynor, you want to try and maybe attack the top, clear the mines, pick off a few tanks, then rotate back, bust the middle, and at the same time, keep trying to put these Nidus Worms up. He's forced a tank in the main base to be sieged up permanently for those Nidus Worms. He's forcing Oliveira to sit back on the defense, but Oliveira is hanging on. Now let's check Oliveira's command center count. Only 4 orbitals, guys. He's only on 4 orbitals. Reynor has not given him enough time to build the Iron Bank. So Oliveira is doing a very good job of building a big defensive setup, building planetary sensor towers and doing all this stuff, but he does not have the mass orbital that a lot of players will build in this sort of scenario. Instead, he's doing more of a, I will build extra planetaries and put those out in forward positions and use those to secure my position. Oh, Infestor stops just outside of scan range. Good stop there for Reynor. I think Reynor probably needs to keep going soon, though, guys. 1 or 2 more big fights could be game-ending if he can catch these ghosts. Oh, but he's a bit too close. He's a bit too close. Ah, the Infestor unburrows, but doesn't quite get the fungal off. And that's a good position. Good position for Oliveira. Bad fight for Reynor. Yeah, and he's a bit heavy on Hydras right now, guys. He's got 3 Lurkers, 14 Hydras, 1 Infestor, 2 Vipers, 10 Queens. Oh no, 10 Queens is too many. For this stage in the game, guys, you actually need to sacrifice those Queens because they aren't useful aggressively. Because he has 87 Workers and 10 Queens, he doesn't have that big of an army supply. Lurkers in the backside are doing some damage right now. Nidus Worm's trying to come up, but the tank is shutting those down. And the middle bases have not mined at all. This base just barely started mining, already denied. This is a huge problem because normally on this map, when you're playing against the Turtle Terran, you get to mine some of those middle bases. But because of the way Oliveira opened with such economic momentum, with such an early 5th base, it's been very different. But oh, Reynor with a massive lurker on the high ground, getting big shots on these SCVs. Over there on the left side as well. Oh, the Hydra Bane's getting cleaned up. He does clear the supply down, though. Oliveira's supply is kind of low, guys. These Lurkers are harassing him. He doesn't have enough orbitals to even see all these units. The Lurkers are so hard for him to deal with. He finally managed to scan those Lurkers at home. There's an Infestor there. This Lurker finally does get scanned down, but remember, only 5 orbitals up. He's finally got a 5th orbital. Oliveira does not have a planetary in the south. He can't afford it right now. He's just floated an orbital down. This is still a very close game, but Reynor is almost out of bank, and he doesn't have middle bases mining. It felt like, you know, Reynor's got this supply advantage now, finally, but he's spent his bank to do it. And how do you clean up? He needs 1 more good fight to break Oliveira. Oliveira, though, has so many Widow Mines, so many tanks, so many bio, and this sort of way he sets up the push. The tanks, the mines spread everywhere is huge. There's an Infestor underground watching him right now. Oh, Lings on the bottom. This is huge for Reynor because there's not a lot of support for these tanks, but the Lings are a little bit clumped here. He does need to spread a few Lings to the north. He's going to do so. Dude, Lings are the hard counter to siege tanks when they don't have a lot of Marines and whatnot. It's huge. Vipers come in, EMPs hit them. 1 abduct on one of the ghosts, though. I like that. The Lurkers killed the tank. He got rid of one of the ghosts. Reynor finding value. I think Reynor might have done it. I think Reynor may have done it here. He's picking away the SCVs. And Oliveira, it all came down to that moment, guys, when he was out of position, lost the bottom base, And then he got angry. He counterattacked, killed 2 hatcheries in the north, but he left his main open to the lurkers and lost 30 SCVs. That was where Oliveira lost momentum in this game because he had an amazing setup, but REYNOR busting the south and nidusing the backdoor at the same time was a huge mistake. And it all comes down to the fact that Oliveira never built the row of turrets along the edges to zone out those overseers and kept letting a combination of overseers fly in from both sides as well as changelings. And that's what's put Oliveira in a very hard spot right now. Now, the thing is, REYNOR needs to show urgency, though. He can't slow down. He's got to keep going. He's remaxed. He needs to go win the game right now. And you know what? I know it's a weird thing. This planetary is actually the most important thing for him to take out. Because right now, when he wants to rotate north, he has to go all the way around. Rotate south, all the way around. But if he breaks these rocks, breaks this planetary, he could bust this bottom side and it would be massive. Or bust the northern side. But he's got to clear these front widow mines and he's got to keep going. He's sitting on max right now. Oliveira's army supply is catching up. REYNOR's been behind on army supply for the last 8 minutes, 10 minutes of this game. But right now, he's giving a moment of respite to Oliveira, and this is the one moment where REYNOR needs to keep attacking desperately because he's trading badly, he's not mining the middle bases, he's building a hatchery off center there. He's got to go, man. The Infestor on burrows, but he gets shot down immediately by the siege tank. Those +3 siege tanks do so much damage, man. Oh, he just attacked his own unit there, it looked like. I think Oliveira. Maybe there was a Zergling on top of him that I couldn't quite see. More Nidus Worms trying to go up, but REYNOR's got to find a way in. He's all attacking from one side here, which could maybe work out, but it's that planetary, man. That planetary scaring him off the middle is so good. I've talked about that planetary on this map so many times over the years because it is just such a good position. If you can't dislodge that planetary, it's so good for Terran. It really limits your ability to flank in from multiple sides on this sort of setup. And you can see right now, REYNOR's kind of trapped fighting down a corridor. He's got to open up a new angle. He can't just keep fighting on the edge of Terran range. That always favors Terran because then Terran says, oh, your whole army's here. They reinforce all their units, they layer them backwards, and they just do so well. There's still a burrowed Infestor, but I think REYNOR needs to have that up and to the left a little bit outside of these tanks' range. That would be the perfect Infestor spot up there. He's going to get one shot by these tanks when he unburrows yet again. Another unburrow gets shut down by the tanks that were out of his vision. Ghost coming forward along with those libs. Nidus is still trying to go, and he keeps trying to throw the Niduses on top of the tank inside its minimum firing range, but Oliveira is reacting so fast. Oliveira, only 5 orbitals, only 50 SCVs. Does it matter? No, it does not. Not if you are now up at 140 army supply. REYNOR he needed to keep attacking at that moment when he had momentum. He cracked through Oliveira's defenses. He had momentum, but this planetary in the middle, he's kind of fallen into the trap of thinking this is a no-go zone. Whereas if you look at it, he's only got 1 tank supporting it, nothing else. And it's like that for most of the game. Likewise, this northern side, mostly undefended right now. But REYNOR is kind of doggedly stuck on the south because that's his only middle hatchery. It's not only misplaced, he hasn't been able to mine off either of these bases. That northern base is where the action's at, guys. He needs to rotate his army, just leave a small section of Lingbane Hydra here to try to defend. And he needs to rotate to that other side. He tried to morph Banelings behind the mineral line, which is awesome. I love the idea there. Unfortunately, even with +3, not able to one-shot those SCVs. This northern side's open, guys. There's 2 tanks and 4 Widow Mines and a planetary. It's an army, or it's a defensive setup, but it's a strong point. He should be able to break that strong point. Oh, man, he can't keep fighting into this choke point. I think REYNOR's frustrated. He's running into a wall. We know that REYNOR does not like playing late game, and I think you're starting to see it here because it feels like he's lost hope. It feels like he's lost situational awareness. He played such a good game. The Ling multi-prong, finding all those tanks in the middle. The Nidus Worms constantly hitting Oliveira. From what felt like a big favored opening for Oliveira to getting the game back in his favor a little bit. But then Oliveira has just doggedly clawed his way back because what does Oliveira do, guys? Mines and tanks everywhere. Libs added in front, and the Bio Ghost moves in front, picks up whenever they get in trouble, pulls back. Moves in front, picks up whenever they get in trouble. Ooh, bit of a mistake for Oliveira over here. Bit of the exception where he does let the Bio get trapped. And it's just this non-stop layers of tanks, sensor towers, Widow Mines. It's a beautiful, beautiful layered defense that he's setting up all over the map. The man basically looked at the Maginot line and said, I want to do that in StarCraft. Good luck blitzkrieging me if I have planetaries everywhere, mother trucker. And yeah, REYNOR really has not been able to find openings after those earlier trades. And now, because his income has hit such a standstill because he was never able to mine these middle bases. He lost the left base. Right side is now mining. But if Oliveira denies this, it's lights out. And once again, REYNOR's whole army rotates. But look, now Oliveira knows about it. So he rotates his whole army here. And REYNOR's stuck fighting on the edge of the Terran units. The Terran have superior range, superior damage. They're fragile. But if they can just pin you like this and have you fighting on the edge of tank range, it's a very bad trade. 15,000 resources lost advantage for the Terran. Oliveira doing a really good job at denying these middle bases all game long, which is what's brought Reynor's income to such an early standstill here on Oceanborn. 3-3-3, no ship weapons or vehicle plating for Oliveira. Comes forward, scans, and snipes a lurker. Very nicely done. Tank still getting shots off. And this is just huge for him. Nidus Worm goes up. These Nidus Worms, at this point, you got to realize, guys, 22 Niduses, that is a few thousand minerals and gas. It's costing him a lot, but because he stopped attacking and gave up the momentum when he did have the supply, the expenditure is now no longer worth it. Reynor needs to find efficiency at this point, but because he's stuck fighting on the edge of snipe, look at that. Snipe some units, pull back. Snipe some units, pull back. The units lost tab is getting so good. A single Zergling is going to kill a bunch of SCVs, but a tank finally does take it out. Units lost tab now 17,000 resources in favor of Oliveira. Every time he baits you into the tank fire, into the ghost snipes, it's just so bad. You can't be standing here and fighting. Zerg's all about mobility against this army, but Reynor no longer has the army advantage, so he can't just bust the middle or bust the sides or anything like that. Hydraling Bane does Nidus out behind the third. I do like that move. The fourth base, sorry. Denies 10 SCVs there. Lingbane, Hydra Viper coming forward. Parasitic Bomb. But he doesn't have the numbers to cascade through. The ghosts just stand their ground. Those 3-3 ghosts, and that is a field of Zerg sadness. 20,000 resources lost advantage. Oliveira with one of the most confident, amazing early game openings. You got to look at where he's at 10 minutes into this game and compare that to a normal Terran and realize how delicious this early game is and how good his defense is. I mean, look at how early that fourth base is set up, guys. Fifth base starts at 8:45. That's when I start my fourth half the time. Great production setup. Sensor towers going up all over the map. And that was just such a huge moment. If we go to that moment, though, where Reynor did have the economic momentum and killed these 30 SCVs. Yeah, so this is Oliveira's big mistake, which is very impressive he recovered from. About 14 to 15 minutes. So things were going really well. Reynor had recovered his economy and was trying to be annoying with Nidus Worms, but hadn't really got any up yet. And Burrowed Banelings weren't working. Bio maybe slightly overextends there, but not a big deal. And then you're going to see at this moment where Reynor rotates his army south. I like this. Reynor clears a few tanks in the middle of the map. Does clear up some of these Widow Mines as well. Yeah. His army should move south in a moment. I didn't catch this nuke harass, by the way. Sorry, guys. I should have caught that. Doesn't really do much. So the whole army comes down, and here's where things go well. So Reynor comes in with overseers from both sides. Remember what I said? He skipped turrets there. If you have two or three turrets there, 2 or 3 turrets there, usually these overseers die on the way in. But because he didn't do that, he lets the Nidus Worms get up. So you could argue that's a mistake. I think he has the minerals. I think Oliveira definitely should have those turrets as part of his game. But this is just such a good move because there's not many tanks down here, right? There's like one tank to the north, and then it's an undefended planetary. So Oliveira messed up here by leaving this base. Like if he had a few Widow Mines and 2 tanks with it or something, this would be a harder play. But because that happens, and Oliveira's like, okay, well, I'm already committing to the pushing up here. I'm going to push even harder. I think it's actually a big mistake because he doesn't prioritize this. It's okay for him to push the top, but most of his units should have been coming back to stabilize the bottom left and the main base. Because this gets out, and this gets way too much damage. And then Reynor's like denying that base. He's got another Nidus over there. Yes, the Lurker goes down, and you think, oh, well, is it that much? Yeah, because now his army's out of position. So he loses all of his tanks in the middle. He loses 5 siege tanks here. Reynor quickly pulls back. Now he's got Lurkers on that base, getting even more damage. And you could see just how much went on for Reynor there. And this is where Reynor really got that momentum. Now, he's still down in army supply, so I'm not saying he'd won the game from here. But this is like where a few minutes after this, he takes a few good fights. And I think it was about 18 minutes is when he got up. And Oliveira, yeah, you can see at this point, Oliveira is really struggling to remax. And this is where I really felt Reynor needed to just go pedal to the metal and keep it up. But you can see the problems he's run into are not just, oh, he played indecisive. The problem really was that Oliveira did such a good job of denying these 2 bases earlier. So Reynor's mining just has never been that good. He still doesn't have this base up. He keeps sending a drone here, and the Widow Mine keeps killing the drones that go to take that base. So right when Reynor should be like steamrolling him, Reynor's income sucks. It's already dried up by 18 or 19 minutes. So even here, when he has the army supply advantage for the first time in this game, Reynor's already kind of playing from behind. So even though I think he probably had a chance here, he needed to get this base up and mining much sooner, number one. He needed to respread his creep a little bit better, where, as you could tell, Oliveira did such a good job of keeping him busy that REYNOR kind of ignored his creep spread for many portions of this game from about 12 minutes onwards. But here as well, he needed to really break this planetary, keep clearing these Widow Mines in the north. He left this whole north side just as a no-go zone for far too long in this game. And I think he just gave Oliveira a bit too much room to breathe, while himself, he wasn't really establishing this hatchery, and he kind of froze up. So Oliveira made things really rough. REYNOR found some openings and played a very good game, but at the end of the day, he needed to keep playing an exceptional game because and that actually killed 10. That got so many drones. Oh my lord. Really well played by Oliveira though. He takes game one in what was an exceptional display, and it was really good multitasking by REYNOR, but also just an amazing opening by Oliveira. And I love seeing, rather than being obsessed with getting 10 orbitals, it's all about planetaries, Widow Mines, Sensor Towers, Ghosts, Bio, and just that beautiful blend of Terran units. Well played by Oliveira in game one. All right, some impressive fight from behind, but getting that fourth base killed and being very slow to re-drone it in the early game, I do think cost REYNOR quite a bit of momentum. And then not being able to defend his creep and secure those edge bases for so long definitely hurt him as well. Made him have to play from a bad position. He's going to go pool first in game two. I think he's anticipating Oliveira in the top left, being greedy and skipping the SCV scout. So if Oliveira skips the SCV scout, these Lings could get across and do big damage. So what you're going to keep your eyes on, guys, is does he rally the 19th worker to the natural and then rally this SCV across to scout? If so, bad for REYNOR. Whereas if this SCV instead just rallies down here, builds the command center, that's going to be good for REYNOR. Now, this is a misplaced barracks, guys. He meant to build it there, I'm pretty sure. But he's probably going to wait to build the Reaper first, get across the map with it, and then reposition that 19th SCV is not rallying down. This SCV is rallying to build the command center. This is good for REYNOR. This is very good, guys. No, he changed his mind. He changed his mind, guys. He's sending a new SCV down. Oh, that's actually really good for Ollie. That's great for Ollie, because now these 6 Lings are going to be facing a Reaper that stays at home. Ah, Oliveira not taking any risks here versus REYNOR. This is a good idea. REYNOR likes to take risks, play like a little bit aggressive. And oh, we're just going to leave it in this position, are we? That's an odd choice. It's okay. I guess if you put the barracks down one, that's still a wall off, right? Is it? Or is it a diagonal? I don't know. I think it's a diagonal, which means it wouldn't be a wall off. Anyways, Reaper's going to stay at home. You can even hide the Reaper to try and bait the Zerglings to come in. Queen's coming down. 2 workers on gas. This is a very expensive opening for REYNOR. This really does cost him. I'm a little surprised he's not sending a drone out to a 3rd base yet. You can see he's floating a lot of minerals right now. No 3rd queen, no 3rd hatchery. REYNOR, where's that 3rd hatchery? What's going on, bro? Okay, now he starts the 3rd queen, and he will be going creep in a moment. Meanwhile, the Lings are just waiting, guys. They can't go in. The Overlord knows the Reaper's there. He didn't see the Reaper come across the map. The Lings aren't going to find any damage. He's going to go in now. He's just like, ah, screw it. Let's risk it. Let's see how well Oliveira defends. Oh, 3 on the Reaper. Oh, he doesn't go. Send it. Oh, the command center. Command center. Command center's almost done. Can he get the command center finished? 2 Lings have already died. The SCV surviving so far. The SCV could beat that Zergling in a 1v1. It drills it. It does fight it. Oh my god, the Marine. Oliveira didn't lose a single unit. 6 Zerglings down. Hasn't lost a single unit. Yes, there's a hole in the wall right now. But I think that's a very good start for Oliveira. REYNOR's 3rd hatchery goes down now. I think he could have started that a little earlier. I don't think it's the end of the world having it a bit delayed there. It's probably more important to start things like, you know, Ling speed, extra queens, non-stop droning, but it does make a bit of a difference, and definitely feel like Oliveira is a bit more confident. Oh, he's going double Cyclone. Okay, so this is big, guys. If he can move out with the Cyclones without REYNOR knowing about it and then catch these Overlords, that's a really good start. The question is, how can he do that? I don't think there's any way, because the Overlord's here. This is why a lot of players on this map like to lift the barracks to kill this Overlord so they can sneak Cyclones out, but I don't think Oliveira is going to be able to do that. Cyclone's just going to sit defensive for now. 3rd hatchery coming in. 8 Zerglings building already. That's interesting. Okay, here we go, guys. So he's going to send... Oh, he's going to scan. Okay. This Overlord's important. He clears that, and you might be thinking, Why? Well, the reason is because now Reynor doesn't know, is it Cyclone Hellion? Is it 4 Cyclones, 2 Hellions? Is it 2 Factory? Is it Mech? It's actually just a bio build. It's just 2 Cyclones into the most generic 2-1-1 ever, right? But now, because Reynor's scared, he's massing Zerglings. He's like, why would you possibly commit all that money? 225 minerals could have been mined with that mule. Instead, you scanned to deny my vision. You must be doing something cheesy. The mind game from Oliveira is that he's not doing anything cheesy. He's playing a very standard 3cc 2-1-1 follow-up to the Cyclones. So he's just faked Reynor out. And look at this, guys. Reynor's built 24 Zerglings and he's going 9 Queens off just 42 drones. So Reynor's been completely tricked by this early game. And it's Oliveira's committed to, yes, Cyclones are inefficient. Yes, Oliveira's are a bit of a dirty unit if you commit hard, but just 2 Cyclones? That's fine. He didn't build Hellions. He didn't build a Viking. He's going straight into the Marines afterwards. And now Reynor's scouts, and Reynor's going to realize he was way too safe against this, guys. He should have been mixing and matching more drones, but Reynor's being tricked. Oliveira has his number in this game too. And look at this. Now he moves out with the Cyclone 2-1-1. And Reynor's Lings, well, they can help to defend, but he's got to be careful. Be very careful. Couple Zerglings go down to the Cyclones as he moves out. A few Lings will come in for the counterattack, which is a good move. But Oliveira's on point. Quick depot raise there. 9 Queens and the Zerglings, I think, can defend this. But Reynor's only up 8 workers. 4th base just started. He really wants to recover that drone count. But to respect this, he builds another 24 Zerglings, making sure he's not leaving himself wide open. Similar to the last game. Remember last game, after the Hellbat pressure on his 4th base, Reynor kind of overreacted and got scared. And keep in mind, Reynor's recent big matches leading into this are the GSL, where Gumiho killed him with 2 different Hellbat timings. Weird off-timing Hellbat timings. And I think Reynor's a bit paranoid. He's been traumatized by like odd attacks catching him off guard recently. And this is why, look, he's so low on economy right now. He needs to drone. He's building more Zerglings. He finally sees the 3rd command center for the first time in this game, and he's going to have his heart drop. Because he was playing as if this was a 2-base all-in. He's on such a low worker count. Even workers with Terran is a disaster. Reynor, he's going to have to play from way behind against Oliveira. Let's see what he can do. Widow Mine out there. Does waste its shot on a single Zergling, but Reynor backing off for now. I feel like he needs to get something done with this massive Zerglings. He's doubling down. He's continuing to mass Zerglings. So I think Reynor's going to just say, look, I've already committed to so much army. Let's just do a 1-1 Ling Bane attack. Problem is his Baneling speed's so late that a 1-1 Ling Bane attack is unlikely to work here. His Marines run in. Lings run in. The Marines are at the wall off, though, with a Hellion and a Mine. He can't commit. Reynor starts droning at 7 minutes into the game. Ooh, man, if he had a quicker Bane speed, I wouldn't mind him doing a 1-1 Ling Bane timing right now. But it's just that Baneling speed is still 40 seconds out. So the chances of that finding a weak Oliveira are very low. +2 Carapace is on the way. +2 melee could come in soon, but he's a bit low on gas right now, is Reynor. Reynor playing this game from very far behind. And once again, we've got an Oliveira whose control, whose build orders, whose decision-making are just on point. Play against Serral repeatedly, you really need to become a different type of Terran, and Oliveira seems to have done that. And this has been such a surprise, because Oliveira looked so fragile within the Asian regionals. You know, he was losing to everyone, left, right, and center. He ended up winning the region and getting his stuff together, but you can really see it's not just... that was mostly TVP there that he was struggling with. He sorted that out to get to this point, and his TVZ has apparently just been on another level this whole time. +1 range, +2 Carapace on the way for Reynor. That's an interesting choice, guys. So he's choosing to swap into... That's a misclick. He doesn't even have a Hydroden or a Roachhorn. Oh, no. I think Reynor's maybe thinking about going Hydras, but forgot the Hydroden. He's getting the wrong upgrades right now. Ling Bane held out on the front. The Queens are coming forward. Ling Bane spreading through. Good spreadies from Reynor. Minimizing those Widow Mines really well. He's building 3 more Queens right now as well. A desperate attempt to hang on with the efficiency of the Queen. He's up to 93 drones. That is insane. 93 drones. I wonder if he's purposely trying to upgrade his Queens. Finally gets a few Banelings on top of those Marines, but they'd killed so many Banelings by that point. It's still very efficient for Oliveira. Now, Reynor playing 92 drone 5 base. This is so greedy, guys. Looks like that Widow Mine gets picked off. These Queens on the top right are just trying to buy time, but you can't be losing all these Queens. He kills a Medevac, but loses 2 Queens for it. +2 carapace is almost there. At least he's ahead on the +2 carapace versus the other upgrades. Hydrodon's finally coming in here. REYNOR with a lot of money coming in, but look at that. Liberator harassing the south side, being a nuisance. Doesn't have an answer to that right now. His queens are going to need to rotate. That means his Lingbane needs to move up to this right side. REYNOR trying to fight hard from behind. He's up in supply right now. REYNOR's doing a really good job of just hanging in here, but he has to defend. He went up to over 100 workers, guys. Okay, that's ridiculous. 90 workers was already greedy. REYNOR right now, you can tell he's playing fast and loose. He's not necessarily tracking his economy that well because he's so busy dealing with the harassment. Finally getting rid of this at the same time. Queens will come down there. Nice transfuses. He does take out the Liberator. Finally going to be able to return to mining on that 5th base. And REYNOR is hanging on like a bloody champion. He's up 26 workers right now. And he is hanging on like a beast. That being said, 4th base is up for Oliveira. He's got a 5th base building. 2nd factory there as well. Biomine coming out. I mean, as long as REYNOR hangs on to his economy, he's got so much money, he should be able to start counterattacking soon. Oh, good Widowmine hits, though. At least the first one was very big. That one was well spread against. Nicely played. REYNOR's hanging on well. Guys, he's got 107 workers. Why is he still building drones? Why is he still building drones? REYNOR is getting silly right now, guys. He is getting very silly in terms of his economy. 95 workers would be exceptionally greedy here, but he's continuing to drone in the midst of aggression. Oliveira's keeping him pinned back. He cannot afford to lose this base. He's got 31 drones on this hatchery. There's greed, and there's flow, and there's an ability to fight from behind, and these are all things that REYNOR always has as part of his playstyle. But right now, he needs to hover over that supply, realize he's got a silly amount of workers, and fix that up. He's trying to take gases right now. Overlord speed, +2 range is coming in as well. He is trying to make that Hydra transition. He's already got muscular augments. He's making groove spines. In the last few months, I made a lot of fun of the Italian stallion. I told him, you know, mate, it'd be nice if you remembered your Hydra upgrades, because he just kept forgetting them against Protoss a lot. But he's getting both of them this time. He's still droning. Why is he still droning, guys? There is no reason to be at 110 workers in this game. This is old school REYNOR, and it kind of can work well if you're trading on the Terran side of the map, but it puts you in such a fragile defensive position. One lost fight and he loses this game. If he ever loses this hatchery, he's almost certainly dead. Oh no, the Banelings are going to trap his own units there. This could be really awkward, that Baneling morph, but okay, it looks like enough Hydras are free of it. He does have 1-2 against 2-2 upgrades on the Hydras. Hydra's very good against Widow Mines. So I kind of like this setup for him, where the Hydras should be able to fight okay against this. A few Lingbane will sprinkle forward, dragging the Widow Mine into the bio, and he does push it back. REYNOR playing an exceptionally cocky, greedy style and finding a way to make it work. This early game was appallingly bad for REYNOR. He completely misread what Oliveira was doing. Oliveira tricked him, and he was playing from behind. But he's hung on. He's defended 5 bases. He's respreading creep. He's taking a gold in the corner. Dude. This is classic REYNOR right here. Burrowed Banelings going up. A mechanical beast. If REYNOR can just force you to fight in enough places at once, that'd be good. But I want to see him counterattacking. I want to see him blow up this planetary. This is not quite a big enough army to do so. I'd like to see another 20 to 30 Lings and Banes here. Just this army as it is, not enough. Burrowed Banes there, Burrowed Banes there, Burrowed Banes here. So he's got 3 pairs out on the map. Unfortunately, he misses this army. We'll have to cancel the hatchery. Up 20 army supply is Oliveira. Oliveira is going into Ghosts. He's got his own 5th base up on location. He is continuing to push, but he's only got 3 orbitals, remember. Oliveira is not playing late game. He's playing an aggressive, controlling style. Oh, the Overseer dragged the Widow Mine into his own units. He tried to unburrow Burrow, but he did it too late by a fraction of a second. Does take a big Widow Mine shot to the face there. Libs are going to come in from that side. I don't think we have Lib range, so the Spore Crawler will take care of at least one of those. Hydra's moving in, though. Ooh. Banelings going after the bio there. Widow Mines will fire on at least a few of those Banes. Pretty good spreadies from REYNOR to minimize the damage. Lib's going to go down. Bottom left side. Hatchery falls to a drop there. Nice moves for Oliveira. Planetary going up in the north. Building armor has not been made in this game, so the Zergling does do a decent little bit of damage there. Sorry, guys. A bit congested still. I feel it 100%. I've been working out and all sorts of stuff, but man, I'm still a little bit... My sinuses are a bit messed up. Still a little bit congested here. These Burrowed Banelings could be massive. Oh my god. Oh my gosh! Watch out! Burrowed Banelings don't actually land on the Marines, mostly on the Ghosts. They still do good damage. The base on the left side gets blown up. 12 SCVs go down. On the right side, the Bio Lib chasing into these Hydras. REYNOR, you gotta hang on. You gotta defend this base, bro. Uh-oh, he might lose it. I think he's going to have to give it up. Yeah, he pulls the drones away. He's going to have to go take the drones down to that gold in the bottom left. But he did just blow up an important base of Oliveira. Oliveira is still on 5 base rather than 6. REYNOR's down on income right now, on economy right now, I should say. He's got way more workers, but at least he's let that worker count drop down to 96, which is a much more feasible worker count than the crazy 100 plus workers he was using earlier. Now, this is a dangerous move, guys. Vipers could be out. Imagine a few parasitic bombs on these medevacs. Now, I know they're not there right now, but that still is something that's dangerous. Hydras will take care of these libs. This is a crazy drop for Oliveira. He drops and snipes a bunch of the Hydras, though, and it actually pays off canceling this hatchery. Risky moves for Oliveira, paying off big time. He also just moved over those burrowed banelings. REYNOR wasn't watching, wasn't able to activate that. Gold base going down as well. Oliveira is all over this game, and it feels like Oliveira is just consuming the map, denying REYNOR's map control and getting into a powerful position. The only thing we could maybe criticize is that he's quite ghost heavy, and you don't really need ghosts until they build spellcasters. The first Vipers are only just starting. Oh, full medevac just went down. Full medevac just went down. Okay, that was a bit of an overcommitment there. Oliveira did lose quite a few units. He is ahead 7,000 resources in the units lost, though. REYNOR, you can do it. You can do it. Go, 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 go. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Ah, I think he could have taken that shot. Would have got at least 6 or 7 Marines, but doesn't risk using those burrowed banelings just yet. Overseer's in the back. He's going to go for the Nidus Worm, of course, trying to spread these changelings between these bases. Meanwhile, Ling's overwhelming a bit of the Bio Ghost over on that side. Oliveira does pick up and save some of the units. Still up 20 army suppliers, Oliveira. He's got a planetary up north. A lot of those SCVs aren't mining right now. Liberators will clean up the Overseer. Looks like the Changeling's mostly cleaned up, but check this out from REYNOR's point of view, guys. Changeling there, Changeling there. A lot of the Bio Ghost being pinned back in the main. REYNOR reestablishes this base. His mining is really weak right now. Check it out, guys. Massively oversaturated on... Well, he's actually just long-distance mining with all of those drones. Tons of workers idling as well. Trying to take care of the bottom left side. Overseer and Zerglings do clean up the Widow Mines. Big push on the right side coming in. Oliveira's got to be careful, though. That's a lot of lurkers. And watch out, the Nidus Worm in the back. He's not watching the Nidus Worm in the back. His bio's right there, but he's not paying attention. Oliveira is so focused on the front. He does snipe through the lurkers. He's going to deny this base, but at the same time, mass lurker inside your base. You got to watch out, mate. Lurker range is there. We're not watching a dark game right now. He remembers those upgrades. Vipers coming in with the parasitic bombs. Mass Ling Hydra getting on top. Oliveira's units are so vulnerable. But dude, this is such a close game. The lurkers in the back, though. Liberator's going to get on top. Lurkers are going to get cleaned up by those libs. 17 drones go down as well as the hatchery. This game's still neck and neck. Great choice to pull back there for Oliveira. He does leave a few units behind, but it is what it is. Oh, he goes in with the bio. He actually goes in with the bio. His orbital needs to lift. He's got to be careful. The libs aren't cleaning this up as efficiently as I thought they would because he wants to get it over and done with. Oliveira says, I need to get rid of this. The orbital doesn't lift. It goes down. Oliveira engaging in a bit too much chaos. REYNOR right now digging deep into his bag of tricks and finding a way to resurrect himself from a terrible early game and an all-consuming, constant, aggressive game from Oliveira. But he gets big damage here. The question is, what can he do with it, guys? His income's still behind. See the income in the top left? He's still down 600 minerals a minute. He needs more damage. He's getting it. Those damaged Marauders going down to the Lurkers. Still don't know if that's super cost efficient at the end of the day. Units lost tab is going to be 8,000 resources in favor of Oliveira. REYNOR taking the gold base. Widow Mine does find it and burrows on it. This base not being there is a big problem. The gold base may give REYNOR enough income to win this game, though. If he can just deny any new bases getting taken, that's only half mining. That base is going to lose 4 mineral patches in about 5 seconds. This base is pretty healthy up top. So you know what? I mean, Oliveira has still got good mining for a while. Big Lurker Viper Hydra push, though. Is there an answer to the Vipers? Right now, lots of libs. Lots of libs. Abducts. Oh, 3 Vipers are going to do some abducts. A bunch of libs go down. Parasitic Bomb and the other 3 libs over there as well. This is huge. Great trades for Oliveira. For REYNOR, sorry. At the same time, 5 Lurkers find the planetary in the top. Oh, there's no answer to this right now. He doesn't have any ghost energy. He's only got 3 ghosts. His libs can't deal with it now that there's Vipers here. He goes to the top with the bio ghost, but the lurkers are spreading out. Remember, he only has 3 orbitals. He does take out those lurkers, but where's the scans? He's run out of scans. Lurker Viper over there. 1 more scan does go up in the back. Libs trying to siege as well. Those lurkers do go down, but 23 SCVs have gone down as well as the command center over on the 4th base. Factory goes down. Depot starting to fall. Abducting these liberators into these hydras. The lurker Hydra Viper finding value. And that Nidus in the back did enough to disrupt Oliveira, put him on the back foot, reset his production a little bit as well. And now Oliveira just does not have an answer. He's got to avoid fighting into this. He has... No, the lurkers! Big shots from the Lurkers. He's got to pull these guys to the left. Oh no, he's walking through. Oliveira in panic. There's still one red hit point Lurker in the top right that refuses to die. And that's just forcing his multitasking to have a lot of issues, abducting the lives in so nicely. REYNOR finding big damage. Counter drop's going to go across the map. He says the best defense is a good offense. Oliveira is going back to his base instincts as a Terran player. When in trouble, just stim at your opponent, drop your opponent, YOLO at their face. It's not a bad idea. He's got no answer to the Lurkers at home, so the Lurker Hydra Viper's moving in. The Bio coming in. Watch out for those Banelings on creep. My lord, that's a lot of Banelings on creep. The army getting spread backwards. Nice scan on the Lurker on the left, but the Lurker on the right side doing big damage. The Hydras and the Queens push him back. And REYNOR, after a really rough early game, resurrects himself, building up to 110 drones in the midst of being under a brutal siege. He is an actual crazy person, but he has the talent to back it up. He ties up the series 1-1. All right, well, this series is absolutely cracked. Oliveira, I thought he was going to be up 2-0. He was all over him. Great opening, but hard to finish off your opponent on Golden Ore. And now it's back on a more Terran-friendly map in Sight Delta. Now, REYNOR has looked paranoid in 2 games. Game 1, he didn't cancel his 4th base, and then he was so afraid after that he didn't drone his 4th base, even when it had finished rebuilding. Sat on 73 drones for a long time, which, if you're Serral, is totally fine, but we know that REYNOR does not like playing Zerg vs Terran below 90 workers, so he clearly looked afraid in Game 1. Game 2, super afraid after the 2 Cyclones scanned the Overlord. So REYNOR needs to play a little bit more cavalier. He needs to play a little bit more dangerous, I would say, and scout a bit better. Scouting what Oliveira is up to is going to be absolutely crucial. Now, is Oliveira once again going to send the SCV across to scout? I think he'll skip it this game because you've twice gone for the SCV scout. One game, it was just hatch first. The other game, you caught the pull first and shut it down. Yeah. So he's going to play greedy this time. Notice he just uses that SCV to build the command center, no scout. This is a smart play, man. I like this choice for Oliveira. You know what's funny, guys? Today, my computer, when I swap to player's vision, it doesn't have that lag spike that it had yesterday when I was casting games. Still no idea what the difference is that causes that. Reaper's coming out. We've got Marines. We're going to get 3rd command center, I wonder. Looks like a pretty standard 3cc, yeah. Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty standard 3 command center opening for Oliveira. REYNOR does go 6 lings and ling speed. Very safe opening. Very Korean style, going for the 5th and 6th Zerglings. The idea being, not only do you make sure you can shut down the Reaper without having to do any spore tricks, but also you can... we might have to do a spore trick because our lings weren't out front. He saves it. It allows you to put your creep tumor down very easily. On this map, I think 4 lings is fine, though, because you've got the ramp. So it's very easy to put the creep tumor down either way. And yeah, you can risk just chucking that down immediately on the ledge because of the high ground advantage. 3rd hatchery is down to the south. Oliveira sees it, goes back to the front. And notice ling speed was up before the 3rd hatchery. So it's a very quick ling speed, very safe opening for REYNOR. Starts a 3rd queen only now. Yeah, REYNOR is playing very safe today. 3rd command center is there. 2nd gas goes down just after the starport, 303. And that's going to delay the Hellions. So he's prioritizing getting that up. He wants to go 2 Hellions, then Tech Lab. Reaper, unable to deny anything. Creep tumor comes forward. Lings need to move in front. If he wants to put this creep tumor down... Yeah, you can see the Reaper's just trying to catch him, put the creep tumor down. REYNOR finally does put it down, but the lings are shielding. And grenade is not enough to deny that. Only does 5 damage. REYNOR hits a slight supply block on 44, but I'd say this is a very minor supply block. Notice there's no lava floating, and then the Overlords pop. So he didn't actually get stopped from building anything. Lings are going to go for a backstab, a little counter attack maybe. No, they do pull back. 3rd command center's on the way. Banshee is building. Remember, we talked about the cloakless Banshee. Yeah, he's going to fake cloak because he really wants to force the overreaction. So interference matrix only costs 50 minerals and 50 gas, but it takes a full minute to upgrade. So you can just start this, cancel it, restart it whenever you need those extra resources. So he starts some SCVs, some Hellions, builds a tech lab on the barracks, and then he restarts that matrix. Overlord is coming in for a sacrifice for REYNOR. Meanwhile, the Hellion Reaper is roaming around, but they haven't found any pickoffs whatsoever. Units lost tab's completely empty so far. Every time you tickle the Hellions like that with the Queens, it does add up. Rain is back on gas now that it's past 4 minutes. His 2 mineral lines are full. His 3rd mineral line is almost there. This is a classic rule of 1 gas build, guys. Only mining 1 gas until all 3 mineral lines are full. But he's going for a quick lair, so he wants fast baneling speed, old school. I feel like recently, people aren't going the lair as quickly this often, but it looks like Reynor really wants to make sure he has a very fast bane speed, but also a fast overseer. Why? Because that's going to allow him to detect the cloaked banshees that he thinks are coming. Of course, we know it's not cloaked banshees. So he's probably going to make an overseer or 2 and not actually need them. If he makes some spore crawlers as well, that could be weird as well. All right, Baneling Nest is on the way. 2 spore crawlers. Yeah, this is really good. Forcing a few spores out without actually committing to cloak. I mean, he's still gone 2 banshees. It's not super cheap. He's got an engineering bay in the wall off, as well as an engineering bay behind the natural. I'm pretty sure Oliveira is pretty good at upgrading off his hotkeys, and building those engineering bays in different positions can be nice. It also, seeing a single engineering bay in the front can sometimes confuse a Zerg and be like, is this mech? Where's your second engineering bay? Units lost tab looking pretty good though right now. Overlord goes down, but so does a Hellion. I think that's very good for Reynor. He's on 59 workers. It's 5:30. His 3 mineral lines are full. He's only on 2 gases though. That's not enough gas. Where's his baneling speed, guys? So he's trying to go 1-1 and baneling speed. Okay, there we go. 3rd and 4th gas comes up. His 4th hatchery started at 5 minutes. He's pretty healthy right now. Hasn't made an overseer just yet. We should be seeing one morphing in a moment, but he's actually holding it off. There we go. Overseer plus 1-1 upgrades. And that fast bane speed I talked about, that was inaccurate analysis. This was purely a fast lair for the overseer, guys, to counter the banshees. But you've forced 3 spore crawlers and an overseer. And that all has also delayed the baneling speed, which, who knows, maybe opens up a nice marine Hellbat tank timing. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. 8 racks already? Just past 6 minutes. He's already got 8 racks on the way. Armory coming as well. It's the famous Oliveira 8 racks, guys. He has some of the best executed 8 racks in the world. He's building a bit of a depot wall off. He's lost next to no units. His macro has been flawless. And he's going to stop building workers in a moment, guys. I think this is the last few workers that he'll build. You don't really need any more than 65 workers. You can do it off less. You can do this off 60 workers if you really want to optimize this. Because notice there's no gases on the 3rd. Does Reynor realize? Reynor doesn't have an overseer in the base. He is building up to 77 workers, which is very high. 6 more drones building. Reynor's on autopilot. Reynor's playing very standard Zerg versus Terran right now. He is not scouting enough with his Zerglings. He does not see the lack of gases on the 3rd. He doesn't see the fact that this is now 12 Marines building at a time. Doesn't even bother with add-ons on these barracks, Oliveira. It is just non-stop Marine tank medevac. He's trying to clear the creep. Because remember, guys, this is the best push area. If you break these rocks, you push here, you get tank there, you can put a tank over there. So these bits of terrain block, but also once you get this position, you deny the 5th base and this base, and you push the Zerg back to 3. If you can push a Zerg back to 3 bases, they're screwed. If they have to try and re-expand, good pickups. Pulls back the Banshees as well. If they have to re-expand up here, this base is really easy to snipe later on. So here we go, guys. The push-out's coming. The push-out is coming. 2-2 started. Combat Shields is finished. Mass Marine tank on the way. Oliveira very close to being supply blocked. He should be building a few more depots right now as he moves out. I mean, I know he's going to be trading pretty soon, but he's got to get going. Reynor is on 89 workers, a crazy work account. He needs to cut off the reinforcements. These guys need to go for the natural. He needs to go in, hit the rally. As this army moves to here, you want these guys to swing in behind. And look at that, he's already set up for it. Reynor knows what's happening right now. He's got a lot of Link Bane on the front, a lot of Lings going for the counterattack, and he gets it! Oh no, Oliveira's in trouble! Oliveira's in trouble. Link Bane goes into the natural. If those Banelings find the mineral line, that's going to be massive. The work line's going to be in trouble. He pushes. Rather than defending, he attacks. Crazy person! Oliveira leaves his door open. He's getting ravaged. Every single SCV is going down. And he's making a conscious decision to defend with his rally point and go all in. He's saying this was already a committed push. Now it's even more committed. Let's go. But if Reynor loses ramp control, he's screwed. Reynor needs to give up ground. He needs to pull the overlords away and give up ground. But if you lose ramp control on this map, it's so bad. He needs to change his rally points. He needs the Lings from the main to rally up here and defend there, and everything else to defend over at the 3rd. How the hell does he clean up this army, though? 44 SCVs have gone down. Oliveira has no reinforce. His reinforce is going to be weaker than the truckle of a man with 7 kidney stones. We're talking about a severely impinged flow of reinforcements for Oliveira. Marines and tanks moving moving down that side. We've got Ling Bane trying to group up for a flank. He's got to surround this before the reinforcements arrive. This is a really hard position to fight. The Marine tank Hellbat is in a rough spot. He's going to come in from multiple sides. Reynor's got to clear this army up. He's got to do it efficiently. He's down in army supply. The Hellbat's roasting so many Zerglings on the front line. Nice hot pickup to save 5 of those Marines. The tanks are gone. Reynor needs to pull back. There's so many Marines behind this. He's out of Banelings. He's out of Banelings, guys. He's got no Zerglings. He's got a lot of drones, but they're not mining that much right now. Obviously, Oliveira's income is nothing. If he just had 10 more Banelings, he might have been able to hold on, but Oliveira is going to find the Baneling nest. Oh no! The Baneling nest is going to go down. He's trying to go up there, morphing Banelings as far away from these Marines and Hellbats as he possibly can. There's only 5 medevacs healing the Queens. The last couple of Queens going down. Ling's trying to rally in multiple areas, but Banelings on their own cannot defend against this. All you need to do is spread without any Ling support. Oh no! All you need to spread, and Oliveira clearly has not encountered an angry police officer before. No experience with spreading them on the hood of the car, and he does end up losing those Marines, but it doesn't matter. That was just too brutal of a push, and that just goes to show the power on this map. Once you get tanks here, this choke point there and there, it's so bad for Zerg. They have to defend that position, and that fight was just good enough. We've got to go back and look at this because there's 2 really key moments in this game. Number 1, look at this push timing. He's getting here, breaking the rocks by 8 minutes. So by 8:30, he's going to be like on top of that third, which is huge. So that's really impressive, right? Big mistake. This depot sucks, guys. So you build the depot to get early warning of Lings coming in. I always build the depot up here. Yes, it's easy for Zerg to snipe, but you want to have it. I sometimes even build it down here. You want to have early warning so you don't make this mistake. This is a silly mistake for Oliveira to make. He's staring at the front. He's spreading his units. He's scanning. And the Lings run in. And it's like, oh, no. But he realized, okay, you know what? I'm going to siege the tank. I'm going to rally my Marines. And this tank actually saved him. Believe it or not, guys, I think this siege tank saved him. Because otherwise, I don't think his reinforcement would have been able to get out. But look at that tank. Only 3 or 4 Lings can attack at a time. And this buys crucial moments. Even blows up some of the Banelings before they kill the SCVs. And it allows the Marines to gather. I don't know if it saves them, but it definitely slowed down these Lings getting on top of the production. The fact that this is a solid wall and the Marines can rally to the right side was probably already good enough. But let's look at this first Ling Bane engage as he shoves forward on creep. Because I wasn't really watching this one, right? I wasn't expecting Reynor to fight into it. I forgot that he, you know, but Oliveira shoves on creep and Reynor's like, hey, respect my Banelings on creep, dude. And that looks like it's really good for Reynor. But he spreads back at the last second, and the Banelings actually don't end up connecting that much. So that was a really good shove forward into last second pullback for Oliveira. And notice no drones on the southern base. Now, if Reynor actually sent 15 drones south, I don't think Oliveira ever checks for it. So it actually would have been really nice if Reynor sent drones there just to keep up some mining during all this. But you can see the way these tanks come forward, and he's always reasonably spread out. Even there, where those Hellbats look like a juicy target, it's still pretty awkward. These Queens, I think, stand their ground a bit too far forward. Notice Oliveira is always focusing the Banelings with the tanks whenever he gets the chance. And then as these tanks now have pretty much, you know, ramp control, especially if he gets one more tank a little bit further forward, it's so awkward for Reynor. By the way, guys, Reynor, did he already lose this? Oh, he assumed he was going to lose this Baneling nest. That's why he's already building a Baneling nest there. That's funny. So he lost 2 Baneling nests to this push, did he? It's hilarious. I think Reynor definitely over-droned in this game, guys. I think going to 90 workers is just a little bit too greedy. I think it was a good counterattack. But as you can see, maybe in hindsight, instead of counterattacking, he should have surrounded the army. Hindsight's 2020, I guess. Yeah, just too many Marines surviving that. The Hellbats did pretty well there. Tank Marine Hellbat just getting too good of a fight off. Really well played by Oliveira. His 8 racks is the thing of legends. A brutal 8 racks. I actually think Reynor played a really good game that time. Just a little too greedy on the drones. And Oliveira is so decisive with that 8 racks push. This is actually another map where 8 racks is really scary because of this watchtower. Terran can deny the watchtower, and then you often don't see their push until it's like moving beyond the watchtower, at which point it's very close to your third. And then tanks can spread. Like a tank there is actually really annoying to deal with if these rocks haven't been taken down. So you got to take these rocks down. Then you've also got tanks down here behind this ledge. If they lift tanks behind the gold, put them like there and there. Like there's just a lot of nasty tank positions that Reynor has to watch out for. So I wouldn't be surprised if he opens Roach Ravager to kind of make sure he can bile down tanks and just make it a little bit harder for the super fast pushes to get in on top of him. Because that was a pretty damn quick push just after 8 minutes in that last game. Hatch gas pool here. Is Oliveira going to SCV scout? We're about to find out, guys. That's his 19th SCV building. Hasn't rallied it to the natural, so it looks like he's just going to build the command center with this. He hasn't queued the SCV to mine the minerals, though. So he is going to go scout. Okay. Super safe from Oliveira. He's really erred on the side of safety, and that shows a lot of confidence. I always feel like a guy like Oliveira, who's very good, but not outside of his world championship, he's never been a top 10 player in the world. He's been top 20 plenty of times, but not top 10. And winning that world championship was a freak occurrence, and I don't think a lot of us expected him after the next 6 months of him doing okay, but kind of struggling to recreate those performances. I think it was just one of those things where we're like, okay, cool, that was a cool one-off, but that's it. But Oliveira is showing he really does have a particular drive and dedication. And I think he's very vocal about feeling like some players, if he practices as much as he sees a lot of other players practice, he doesn't feel he stands a chance. But if he grinds 12 hours a day, you know, like mixture of gym, replay recovery, replay analysis, studying his opponent's builds, perfecting his builds, as well as grinding his own games, like he really does just have that drive that allows him to close the gap with the best players in the world. And he even said in his interviews after this tournament, he feels like a lot of the players he thinks are practicing lazily, practicing incorrectly, and that he's just working harder than them. And he basically is like, look, these guys are more gifted than me, they're more talented than me, but I will outwork them. And I think that's part of why he resonates. This is part of why a lot of us love Oliveira. Now, obviously, REYNOR has been grinding again, but I think it's very hard for REYNOR to go from a year and a half of intermittent practice to grinding and looking for those immediate results. I mean, the landscape's a little harder for Zerg versus Terran especially, right? And you could say ZvP as well. Both matchups a little bit harder. The map pool's maybe a little harder for Zerg. It's very much something you can overcome. But I think for REYNOR, there's very much a psychological block of, hey, before, if I played just this well and practiced really hard, I could just win. But I think we're reaching an age where the Zergs are needing to add a little bit more of a strategic element to their play. Cyril's shown an ability to continue to dominate by understanding how to study his opponents and break them down. By evolving as a player and showing that he can still make Zerg absolutely unstoppable gods here, but he can't just play good StarCraft, good mechanical flowing StarCraft. He's got to do that and study his opponents and counter them. And that's something that I think REYNOR is getting better at, but he has more room to go, number one. And I think number two, he needs to lower his expectations just a little bit, because you can tell that he still looks way more affected by losses than he ever did when he was on his rise. I think now there's a bit too much expectation of victory whenever REYNOR's playing well, where it's not just I'm playing well and I'm going to have fun playing the game. It's I'm playing well and I expect to win. And that's a very dangerous mindset. The moment you expect to win in StarCraft, it almost like it automatically removes how humble you are. And that's not, oh, he's cocky and he's arrogant. Most players have this issue where they get too affected by losses, whereas REYNOR's superpower at his peak is that he's unaffected by losses. He is completely unaffected by losses when he's really flowing. You know, him and Dark, the most untiltable players in the world, I used to call them. And that's something where he's got to go back to that mindset of, I'm just playing the game and seeing what works, and we don't care if we win or lose, we're just going to play good StarCraft. And that's very hard to capture. When you've been a world champion, when you've been in 3 world championship finals back-to-back, it's tough to go back to accepting that you can play a good StarCraft game and you can still lose. But that's part of the thing. There's so much variance in StarCraft. There's so many different things. The moment you start expecting to win, it pulls you out of the moment. When things don't go right, you start to get more paranoid and you start to play with a bit of trauma, a bit of worry about what could go wrong. The moment you play afraid in a game as fast as StarCraft, it affects your play in about 1,000 little imperceptible ways and slows you down. Now, I'm not saying that's happening to REYNOR every single game or anything, but there are moments where I see him get a little bit more frustrated by the losses, and that's something he's going to have to find a way to work through. Now, this is once again Cloakless Banshee, guys. Doesn't really get any damage. Oh, he loses the Banshee. There's no way he gets that kill. Oh no, Oliveira committing way too hard. He's got, oh, Hellion Dive! Hellion Dive! Whoa, not a good move if these Lings can get the surround. Can they get it though? Not enough Lings for the surround. That actually works out really well, because he can repair up and heal those Hellions, and the Lings are all dead. That being said, REYNOR's on 70 workers. REYNOR's already on 70 workers, and he's going 1-1 Roach. Oh, this is such a good setup for him, man. So we've got Armory coming in. Wait, guys, what is this? Oh, it's Hellbat Marine tank timing. Hellbat Marine tank timing. This is like a Gumiho special. No add-ons on the 4th and 5th barracks. It's a Hellbat Marine tank timing with 1-1. Ooh, and Reynor's building an infestation and another drone. Do not build more drones. 2 more drones. 5th base. Baneling Nest. He's about to start a hive. Reynor, you need to mass roaches right now. Roaches are a very good defensive unit, but not if you're building 20 plus workers more than your opponent. There's no workers for Oliveira. Oliveira is all in on 53 workers. It's a fake 3rd base, basically. It's only 2.5 base income. Reynor just built 4 more drones and tunneling claws. He's got to cancel the tunneling claws, cancel the Baneling Nest, just make Roach Ravager and survive. He's got a lot of queens right now, but the tanks are here, the Marines and the Hellbats. 1-1 in shields isn't done, but Oliveira senses weakness, so he's going to go for it right now. The Banshee does go down. The Queen's holding the line. Biles landing on the tank, but only 2 of them. No 3rd Ravager to seal the deal. Oh no! Oliveira on 53 workers. Reynor was not overseer scouting to confirm what was going on, and Oliveira has cut massive amounts of production and income to do this. The Ravager does come in and bile that hatchery, but the siege tank, sorry, but the Marines are on top of the hatchery. There's not much to defend. The Roaches and Lynx rallying out right now, desperately trying to hang on. He does have 5 hatchery production right now with a 6th hatchery about to finish. The medevac barely alive. The Marines finding massive damage. Oliveira doesn't have a big reinforce. His Marines are starting to crumble. Those Marines are very low. They're starting to go down. Reynor with a miraculous hold off of the back of insane greed. He doesn't lose a single drone. I can't believe it. He didn't lose a single drone. 73 drones are out. He's making a high of 6 more drones behind this. He defends the attack and he chooses to go for maximum greed. It's an accidental tunneling clause, guys. That was meant to be roach speed. He made the wrong upgrade. Okay, behind this, 2 2s on the way, 3 more barracks. There's still no SCVs building. Oliveira built up to 65 workers. He's going to build turrets for tunneling claws because he did see tunneling claws, and he's going to go for another big push. It's an 8 racks push, and notice, guys, 1, 2, 3 tech labs. So he's going to go for a 3 tech lab Marauder Marine push. Very heavy on the Marauders, and it's going to be a 3 base all in against a Reynor who has a gold base mining, 5 bases mining, macro hatchery up, roach speed is now being made. As long as he makes his +2 carapace, he's going to be in a good spot, but Double Drop's going to harass the gold minerals. Roaches are nearby, though. Only gets himself 1 drone. How many queens? Only 5 queens on the map. Very limited anti-air. +1 melee, +2 carapace, baneling speed, and roach speed are all here. Reynor has a Ling outside the base, but he's still not overseer scouting. Reynor has not been gathering a lot of information. I've always talked about how Reynor and Dark are 2 Zergs who don't scout a lot. They just kind of roam around the map and try to just play by feel. Whereas Serral would absolutely be overseer scouting these 3 extra barracks right now, and the lack of a 4th command center, the lack of a 2nd factory are huge tells that this is an all-in follow-up for Oliveira. 2 Vipers on the way, 4 more drones. I mean, Reynor's miles ahead, guys. He's so far ahead, but he just needs to make Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. As long as he makes army, he can't lose this game. But right now, he's lost control of the watchtower. There's a single Marine there. He's building an Ultra Cavern, a hatchery. And knowing Reynor, he's probably going to build more drones in a second. He's not just yet, which is really good. Oh, he's got the watchtower. This is great. This is great. You can see Oliveira really wants to push him off here. Now, there's no Banelings morphed. 4 more drones making. Adrenal glands coming in. I think Oliveira is probably dead. Even though this is a surprise, he's just so far behind on supply. 1 round of Banelings, a couple of Ultras, the Vipers with Blinding Clad. I mean, there's just so much going for Reynor here. That being said, the push hasn't been seen. Reynor doesn't know about it, guys. We're on Reynor's vision. Reynor doesn't know about this at all. The whole army's right here. He's only just found out about it. Oliveira scans. The Banelings are exposed out front. He has to cancel them off. He's got to run. He's got to pull way back to his natural. Pull back. Oliveira's going to dive, though. Oliveira realizes Reynor's made a mistake. Reynor cannot fight just yet. Reynor's got to run his drones away and give up this position. He's got to morph tons of Banelings. He's making Ravages, Lings, Banes right now. All the Banes are morphing out there on the left. He just had 20 Banes finish morphing as well over here on the bottom right side. 2 hatcheries have already been sniped, though. He's got to go for it. Reynor has to defend this push. He's trying to dive on top. The Baneling's trying to get forward. The Marine Marauder spreading so well. Blinding Clouds do come in, but they come in a little bit late on that fight. Oliveira diving in. A moment of Reynor's inattention and map control. Liberators do go down to the Biles, though. I think Reynor's just barely holding on, but wait, no, there's still more Marauders up top. These last Ravages going down. The 18 drones have fallen. All 3 hatcheries, 3rd, 4th, and 5th base going down instantaneously. Oliveira dives in with a brutal vengeance. And Reynor trying to play 90 workers, trying to make Adrenal Glands 6th, 7th bases, trying to go for Vipers and Chitinous Plating and all these other fancy things. But he just was not staying on top of his basics. He did not have any Banelings pre-morphed. He thought he was untouchable, and he wasn't. Oliveira shoves in. He knew he had to go all in. Oliveira knew this was not the time to be careful and take his time. It was I'm going to either surprise you with this and catch you off, and it's either going to work or it's not going to work. He scanned, he saw no banelings, he saw them start to morph in front of him, and he knew that was his trigger to just 100% commit. Libs, tanks, Marines, and Marauders gunning down the Roach Ravager. There is not enough numbers for REYNOR. REYNOR has no income anymore, guys. He's only on 3 hatch mining. And yes, Oliveira might only be mining 3 base, but of course Terran is favored in that situation. This tank's going to try to run out of here. And here we go. More bio arriving on the front, and Infestor's building 3-3 has now started for Terran. Zerg stuck on 1-1-2 upgrades. Biles do land on one of the siege tanks. Those tanks and bio, though, do they even need to siege up? Probably not. They're going to do it anyway. And those Roaches and Ravagers getting gunned down. The bio shoving forwards. Blinding Cloud is massive, but there's just no units dealing damage for REYNOR. He's going to GG, well played. And Oliveira catches him off. That watchtower is disgusting on this map. Oh, REYNOR's going to be so gutted. But hats off to Oliveira. The decisiveness to commit there is insane. So well done. And look at this. Hides his move out. And as I said, no overseer scouting. REYNOR building 7 more workers. He's going to 96 drones. There's greed, and then there's REYNOR greed, guys. And it is, you know, it is something. If you're going to go 96 drones against a 3-base all-in, it's the wrong commitment at the wrong time. Could he have gotten away with it if his banelings were pre-morphed? Yeah, because then he could have stopped Oliveira shoving on creep, and he could have bought a lot more time, only lost the gold base, finished maxing out, fought together with Blinding Clouds. But not having the banelings pre-morphed, what do you have? 12 Roaches, 3 Ravagers, and 70 Zerglings. That is not a solid army. And Oliveira just committing even before his 2-2's done. Same way he committed before 1-1 was done in the previous fight. Really well done. GG. Really well played. Great decisiveness from Oliveira. Gets the 3-1 victory. And he shows that with a beautiful preparation comes beautiful results. Very well played by Oliveira. And he goes to the semifinals.